and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia Gogan. If you are new, today's video is exciting because this is the video. This is the start of our quote-unquote winter arcs, and I'm not doing the traditional winter arc, which I will talk about if nobody even knows what I'm talking about. But essentially, this is the start of us. And yes, I'm saying us because it's not only gonna be me, it's gonna be you guys too, where we inch ourselves and move ourselves into better habits, healthier habits. We are moving into the winter months. And at least for me, I really want to actually give myself the gift this year for my birthday. My birthday is November 5th, by the way, which is coming up. I want to give myself the gift of health, okay? I want to just not even do better and like put all these things on this to-do list that I have to do, but I really want to ease myself into and really enjoy taking care of myself. I really have been. I also have been dealing with some health issues. I have IBD, so you guys know if you've been watching my channel, I've been going through a flare-up. I did some tests and some medication to help me with the inflammation, so I'm feeling a little bit better, but I'm slowly still working out of that flare-up. But I'm really just enjoying and wanting to go deeper into creating better habits for myself and just being a healthier version of me. And I feel like most of you guys are probably on that same journey or you want to start. So this video is really just going to be motivation. You guys are going to be doing it with me. I'm going to be doing it with you guys. Now, when it comes to winter arcs, there's like this trend going on social media right now where you like use the months right now, which is basically like October, November, December, to basically do kind of what you would be doing at the beginning of January 1st, like getting onto your habits. I know some people kind of treat their winter arcs as like a 75 hard challenge, things like that. Over here, we don't do that. And that's totally fine if you do, by the way. It's totally fine if you have like these set goals and this, that, and I'm gonna talk about some of my goals that I have for myself, but I like to take a very realistic approach to building habits because habits are built over time, and I don't think we need to stress ourselves out about doing 100 things and doing them perfectly. And I think taking your time with figuring out what actually works for you and is going to keep you the most healthy throughout the winter, even the summer and the spring and the fall, but what really it is for you uniquely when it comes to your routines that's gonna keep you in alignment and gonna keep you happy and gonna keep you excited for life is the thing that we should really be focusing on, and that is a journey. It's taken me so long to figure out what makes me feel the most optimal and motivated and inspired to even take care of myself. And some of the reasons why I take care of myself the way that I do is, yes, because I have to, of course, like we all basically have to, but for me, I value my health very heavily because I have IBD, but also I've been through a lot of rock bottoms in my life when it comes to my mental health. So there's reasons why I like to take care of my mental health as well. So just knowing your why behind why you want to do like a winter arc or a challenge or things like that, and kind of connecting back to that can be helpful to kind of bring you on a longer journey of actually sustaining healthy habits can be very helpful. So actually the other day I made a little, like I have a whiteboard. I'm not gonna show you because it's literally like tacked onto my wall on my other side there, and it has like all my personal goals, but I did write winter arc. I just look at it as just like winter goals essentially. So there's a bunch of different things that I kind of want to focus on for this winter. One of them for me, really working on my gut health, and there's so many aspects of what it means to work on your gut health depending on what you're dealing with, which you will see in some of my videos in the way that I'm eating. And that's also a big reason why I really do want to spend more time cooking at home, which is actually so crazy because I genuinely want to cook more foods at home. I feel like I have more time, but I just want to branch out. I want to stop wasting also my money on foods that are just like quick fixes. You guys know I eat pretty well, but there's still things that I feel like I could do more at home and things like that. So that's something I want to do, cooking more at home and meal prepping and really making sure that I'm supporting my body. I'm not trying to be perfect. I still go out and eat. I still do the things I need to do in my life because life is dynamic, but that's definitely a focus for me, which by the way, I think just focusing on one habit or one aspect of your life that you kind of want to get better at or nourish more is the first step. Like realistically, that's like my main focus, is spending more time cooking for myself and supporting my gut health and making sure I'm doing the things that are all going to contribute to a better health outcome. But another thing that I have already actually been doing, which really frees up a little bit more time for me and makes me feel a lot better is not smoking. And when I mean smoking, I mean like gardening smoking, not like nicotine smoking. Now, I don't do that all the time. I've really limited how much I was gardening. I'm just gonna say that just for, you know, the purposes of YouTube, on the weekends, because I just wanted more structure in my weeks. Like, I've never been one to smoke every single day. I used to do that like way when I was like younger, but I didn't have like that much of a problem with it. But still, like, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just doing it kind of whenever, even though I knew I wasn't doing it all the time. So the past like month and a half, I was kind of like, okay, like only on the weekends, which makes sense because it's something to look forward to a little bit more. And like, I do a lot of work during the week and stuff. I don't really have time to do that. But even right now, I actually don't want to even do that on the weekends. I feel like I just don't need to do it. I feel like sometimes I will do that just to pass time because I'm bored, but I want to spend more of my weekend passing time in different ways, essentially, and even healthier ways. And I honestly don't even look at the way I had a relationship with gardening as like the worst thing. I make sure that I'm in a good mental state, but regardless, I just feel like I want to feel the best, especially even on my weekends. And I honestly just think about like when I would drink on the weekends in college and stuff like that, it's kind of that similar feeling sometimes. It gets to a point where it's like when you drink on the weekends, it's almost like you kind of lose at least a day. You lose a day of like, okay, you're going out and partying, and then the next day maybe you're hungover and then you have to recover. Like, there's a lot of time, it seems, that you take from yourself that could be put to doing something else on your weekends per se. And I'm not anti like anything really. I don't really drink that much, but sometimes I will have espresso martini with my friends, that's just not really the season of life that I'm in. But I don't like look at myself as like, oh, I'm sober and I can never drink. But anyways, that's basically my main focus right now, is more wholesome weekends in terms of supporting my gut health and spending some more time cooking and taking my time back and seeing how much more I get done, seeing how better I feel when it comes to my sleep and my habits and all that good stuff. So it is Friday right now. I just finished up my therapy appointment and I was doing some journaling. I made a really yummy coffee. That's actually another thing that I've been doing. When I had to do this test during this week, I had to not eat anything for like literally 2 days. It was like brutal. But with that said, I didn't drink coffee, so I was able to like push my caffeine intake later in the day. So I've been pushing it way later in the day, which is something that I've been trying to work on. So what you saw is I made, first of all, the most tastiest freaking coffee at home, which is another thing that I've been doing, is just making my coffees at home. But I got the Nespresso frother that, as you could see, I put some grass-fed milk and like a half and half grass-fed cream in the mixer, and I added some cinnamon in it, and then I French pressed my coffee. I added a little bit of raw honey in it. Oh my God, it's so good. But what I've been doing is making a smaller amount of the coffee, so I'm not having so much caffeine, and having it way later in the day. So I had that around like 10:30-ish. So I've already ate my breakfast, and I already had electrolytes, and I already had my probiotics and all my medicine and all that kind of stuff. And I honestly just feel so much better pushing my caffeine intake into later in the day. So now that all that is done, I actually need to go get some blood work done. But as I'm there, I'm actually gonna stop at the bookstore because I do want to get a fiction book for when I go to sleep. So we're gonna head to Indigo, and I will just take you along on the journey of getting into healthy girl habits, winter habits. We're going into the depths of the winter, and I'm just not trying to take any habits that do not serve me into the winter time. But more importantly, I just want to be here. I want to enjoy taking time for myself. I want to enjoy nourishing my body and just taking things as they come. So that's what we're going to do. Quick fit check before we leave the place. This hoodie, Iowa State. I did not go to Iowa State. I live in Canada first and foremost. I got this hoodie thrifted. I forget the name of the place, so I'm very sorry, but I got it thrifted. So like, would you be able to find it? I don't know. I love thrifting hoodies. That is one thing I really love. Now, this jacket is also not linked because I don't have a link. This is actually from up north. It was from this beautiful indigenous store, or like clothing store, I guess, that they had up north. And I'm obsessed with this. Everyone really always compliments me on this jacket. And actually my mom gave it to me. Well, maybe I stole it from her kind of. But I remember when I first saw it, I was kind of like, no, like This is not like my Aritzia jacket. I have an Aritzia jacket that I will wear when it gets colder, but this is like a perfect like transition little throw on. I don't know, it's really warm, but I actually like it and I love blue. So that's what I'm wearing. I have my Nice Day Pilates tote. We always need a tote when we're walking because we need things in our tote. I am wearing the Aritzia Butter Flare leggings. You guys know I'll have these linked. They're so nice. And I'm going to listen to some Tate McRae because she gets me in the mood that I need to get in, okay? You always need to have that one person that you can just listen to and you just feel better. And for me, that is Tate. So we're gonna go on the walk. It's gonna be probably like 30, or actually no, it'll be like a 20-ish minute walk, which is perfect because I can get a lot of steps in and get some sun if the sun is gonna come out, and it will be good. Have some lunch. I just roasted some sweet potato, put some olive oil on, and I just sprinkled some pink salt after the fact. I found out that you're not really supposed to cook your sweet potato fries or even probably regular potato fries with the salt in the oven because it makes them retain like more moisture or like create more moisture, which then leads to things being soggy. I don't know. Anyways, just salt your stuff after you cook them, at least some things like sweet potato fries. And I just mixed some ketchup and mayo together because honestly this combination slaps. And then I just have some pieces of roasted chicken. I bought like a whole roasted chicken. I sometimes do that when I don't have the time or don't want to cook any chicken, so I just had that left over. So I'm gonna have this for lunch. This is the perfect lunch for a gloomy Friday day. Okay, so I just finished eating and I needed to like sit down for a second and let my food just digest. So I'm just watching a quick vlog on YouTube. But what I've been doing lately is coloring as I'm watching TV because I just feel like, I'm sure some of you guys can totally relate, this incessant need to grab my phone every 3 seconds, even as I'm watching something, and wanting to scroll or check things. And I just don't like that. So I do find like when I do skincare, self-care, do my hair, and I'm putting on a vlog or I'm putting on a podcast or something to do with like even learning, I find that my attention span stays because I am focused on, like, this is anchoring me to actually listen to the video. Obviously, when you grab your phone, you're instantly no longer listening to the video or the podcast, but when you're coloring, you're still listening. So this is just something I've been enjoying doing. And of course, just not staring at a TV and screens all day really helps, especially at night. So this is kind of random to be doing it midday, but I just figured as I was sitting here. So I've actually had this coloring book for a long time. I think I got it from Indigo, and I just chose to start this. I did this last night and I just filled in these. So I will definitely be finishing this tonight, but this is my new hyperfixation. Like all day I was just like, I can't wait to color. Also, this is the book that I ended up getting from Indigo. I had no idea what book to get. Well, there was actually one in mind that I had, but I couldn't find it. And it was just somebody who had talked about it online. So we will see. If you want to look into what this book is, then you can search that up. But I've been wanting to get a fiction book just to have something on hand at nighttime if I feel like I want to read. I don't have a goal for my like winter arc to be reading every single night before bed. It has to be the strict thing. I just think that personally, it sets me up for failure. So I am trying to just pick up small habits like the coloring as I'm watching my reality TV. Right now, I'm like super into watching The Challenge. So just having that as an option. But maybe if I don't feel like watching a show and I want to kind of wind down some more, I can have this. So just something to change up what I usually do, which on the weekends, it's more lax. It's more let myself scroll, which is totally fine. Like I like to give myself breaks. You know, I'm really productive through the weeks. I'm a little bit more stricter with my routines and stuff, but I also still like to keep my healthy routines during the weekends because why not? Like, I just love feeling good. It's the same thing as like with not drinking. Like, I enjoy the way that I feel when I don't drink. So like, why would I ruin my weekends by drinking? Like I said, I'm not like a sober person and I'm not coming for people who drink, but there's just something about waking up feeling very refreshed. And I kind of started to realize that that's how I like to feel when I don't smoke on the weekend, just as like a chill thing to do to like wind down or just to like, I don't know, you know, escape sometimes in like the least deep way. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. Also, you might have noticed that I've been wearing this ring. My hands don't look cute right now because I don't have my nails done or I don't have my press on nails, but that's fine. I'm testing out the Ultra Human ring. So I'm going to do more of a review once I get all the data because I have to wear it in order to get enough data, of course. And they did send it to me, but I swear I was looking into this specific ring. So I was going to get it either way, but I do know that they're going to give me a code for you guys if you guys were ever interested. But again, I have to wear it for a while. But this is essentially like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Aura ring. It's similar to the Aura ring where it tracks your sleep, your steps, like everything about your wellness, but it's just cheaper. And so that's why I was considering getting it. But I've been having obviously a hyperfixation of like looking at the app and stuff. So I'm already at 8,000 steps, which is so nice. And it's 3:30, mainly because I walked to the well and back, which gave me a lot of steps. So that's another one of my winter goals or like winter art goals is to really like up my steps. And mind you, it's not that hard for me to get like these steps on average. Not every single day I hit 10K, but it's not too hard because I really do enjoy walking. I like listening to podcasts. I like going out to break up my day. I like walking to any place that I possibly can. I don't like Ubering. Like if I can, I will. I live in the city, so obviously it's a little bit more convenient, but I am super down to go for an hour walk. Like an hour walk to me feels like 30 minutes. And I know it sounds crazy to some people who might not walk, but once you start making walking a habit, seriously, when you type in something on the Google Maps and it says like 56-minute walk, when you are a walker, it really doesn't it doesn't register in your head like, oh my God, it's an hour walk. It's like 30 minutes because you get your headphones, you enjoy walking, you know you're going to get your steps in, you know it's really healthy for you, and then you're there. And like, what's the alternative? Like to sit in traffic? Now, obviously, I know you can't always walk everywhere, but just a little side note. So anyways, I got my steps in. I still need to go to the grocery store, so I'll probably hit 10,000 steps. There's my friend Kendra, 10,000 steps like by today for sure. And it's been tracking my sleep. So of course it's really cool to see like when I woke up and how many breaks that I had. So essentially I woke up 1, 2, 3 times. So like, as you can see, I went to sleep here. I slept, woke up. I know I went to the washroom, slept. I woke up. I know I went to the washroom, slept. Woke up, went to the washroom, went back to sleep, and then that's when I actually woke up. Mind you, it is a little concerning to be waking up even that many times throughout the night. Sometimes it just happens, but I am going through a flare-up as well, so this is actually better than it was. I have IBD, like I said, so when you're going through a flare-up, you have a lot of urgency sometimes, and you have to go to the washroom a lot, which is like the downfall of dealing with like severe gut health issues, not like just, oh, I'm bloating and like, oh, like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to like downplay IBS symptoms, but IBD symptoms is like, it's inflammatory bowel disease. Like it's a real thing. You need to get on medication, most likely if you're going through a flare-up. So anyways, it's actually really nice to see that my sleep has been improving and I'm getting better. But in general, it's just kind of cool to see. And then when it tracks your sleep though, it will give you enough data to kind of give you like benchmarks on like when you should probably be going to sleep, when you should be dropping your caffeine intake. It takes your heart rate. Right now, guys, this is actually like so cool. Right now, it says that I am a cardio age of 26, and this has only been tracking for a few days. And mind you, my health is not at the most optimal. Like, I haven't been working out that much. My body is fighting off inflammation, so I'm happy with that. So anyways, this is my new hyperfixation. This is Ultra Human Ring. So definitely like wait for me to do another review though, because I will have a discount code. Now, like I had said, I want to cook more for myself this winter, but I am definitely not trying to be on any strict diet. You guys know, if you were not new, my relationship with food in the past has been unhealthy. I had an ED for many years and many different types of EDs realistically. So I am very like balanced, very let's not stress about things. And I've learned so many things when it comes to eating well in general, that I think that like you get to a point at a certain age where, I mean, honestly, I guess this is probably the goal and the hope, that you don't have to like move through life counting calories and pre-planning every single thing and stressing about food. Like, it really should be this evolution of knowing your body, knowing what's good for you naturally, intuitively, all these things. But it does take time. So if you're not there yet, like, listen, all the power to you. Go listen to the last vlog that I made. I actually talked about my like binge eating, unhealthy relationship with food, little talk at the end of that video. And I've talked about it many times, even in my book. But with that said, of course, I have certain health concerns that I want to support myself with. I also just want to enjoy taking back energy and time and putting it into something like cooking in my life right now, instead of just wasting it. I don't know. Like, again, like sometimes if I want to smoke, and sometimes when I don't want to smoke, like sometimes I do want to cook, but sometimes I don't, you know? And honestly, I don't really even order that much food or anything like that, like get munchies and stuff when I do that. But I used to a long time ago, but I just sometimes don't feel like doing the most like wellness things, which is totally fine. Again, everything's like in balance, but right now I just want to take the time, because I have it, to cook things. And honestly, I really just want to learn how to cook more cool things this winter. And also, when I do have a craving, and this is kind of leading me into what I'm going to talk about right now, when I have a craving, that's fine that I have a craving. I like chocolate. This is what I like. I like chocolate, I like cookies, and like pastries, kind of. Like, those are like my three main things, like donuts and like pastries, that kind of stuff. But I'm like, okay, I am not gonna not have them in my life. Like, that's just not gonna fly with me. But I would rather learn how to cook these things on my own. And I'm not even talking about making them super healthy. Like, there's gonna be so many recipes that I make when it comes to meal prepping. Like, there's different types of things that like are in my winter arc when it comes to like meal prepping and cooking for myself. And I kind of like separate them. So one is like my weekly meal prep. So these are probably going to be things that are very gut health friendly, very like more clean foods. I do not like to use those words anymore, but I'm just using it as an example. Just very like whatever, like normal foods that I'll make and meal prep and soups and stir fries and all that kind of stuff. And then I have like the weekend recipes that I kind of want to indulge in more. So whether that is, I just have on the top of my head, it was this butternut squash pasta. Like, some of those things maybe I wouldn't make for the entire week, because it's kind of like a one-off thing, but it's kind of more of like that solo date night type of dinner that's a little bit different than your average dinner that you're having every single night. And or maybe it's like a date night thing. So like that's kind of what I want to explore as well. And then I have like the dessert section, and I have like ideas for desserts, whether it is something that's like super healthy maybe throughout the week. So like, I'm just thinking about some of the things that I saw on TikTok. There was this girl that made this little like snickerdoodle bark, and it was with dates. So she got like medjool dates and she like rolled them out flat, and then she put crunchy peanut butter on top of it, and then she sprinkled or melted dark chocolate over top of it and put it in the freezer, and she had like little square bites. To me, that's not like the healthiest thing, because there's like sugar in it and this, that, but that's definitely a better option than just getting a chocolate bar and just having a few pieces throughout even the week, because I'm gonna want a sweet treat for one, okay? Like, I'm not really trying to not have my sweet treats. If I want them, I want them. But I would rather make my own because it's cool to make my own, but also making something that's like that, usually you tend to not eat so much of it because maybe you're making with dark chocolate. There's not so much processed sugars in them. There's definitely a difference between like having a milk chocolate bar versus like a dark chocolate bar at your place, you know, things like that. But then of course, there's just the standard like tonight, I'm gonna make chocolate chip cookies. This recipe is like a standard normal chocolate chip recipe. Like it's not like you're using chickpea flour and you're using like no sugar or nothing. Like I'm literally just making them. Like this recipe looked insane on TikTok and I want to make them. But I would rather do that than to order Uber Eats and get Craig's cookies because I love Craig's cookies, but they're like, by the time I order them, they're like $25 to order the small box of like 6 cookies. And I order it to my place and then I eat a few of them and then I'm like, it's all done, it's over with, and I'm kind of like over it. Why not just make it? You know what I mean? So that's like my thought process when it comes to baking and doing all these things. What you guys see me make in this vlog and like future vlogs is not gonna be like the most clean like versions of things all the time, but I'm just explaining my thought process behind why I am cooking certain things at home like this. So that is what I'm gonna be making tonight. So I'm gonna go to the grocery store and just grab a few things for that. Tomorrow I do wanna go to the market. I don't even know if I'm gonna go to the market, but I need to go find wild caught salmon because I've been craving wild caught salmon and it is hard to find. And I'm gonna talk about the difference between like farmed salmon and wild caught. Trust me, you need to know. That's gonna be something that I'm gonna be doing like Saturday and even Sunday. So this Sunday or even Saturday, I don't know. That's gonna be more meal prepping some of the things that are like normal meals. I wanna make a butternut squash soup and I want to make this salmon like dish situation. So I'll probably just get those ingredients like later and then just spend tonight kind of like a solo date. I'm just gonna make some cookies, I'm gonna watch challenge, and I'm gonna draw. So let's go get our ingredients and bake our cookies. Cookies are done. They are baked to perfection, truly. I will have to link this recipe down below. I actually made 2 batches and I still have some cookie dough, but the first batch I did make them a little bit big. They taste really good. So I already had one, so like I know that it tastes really good, but I figured I would make them a little bit smaller and like they do look cuter like this. So I don't exactly know what the hell I'm gonna do with all these because I've already had one and I already am full. And I don't have anyone to give them to really, because like I feel like all my people right now are out of town. Like genuinely all my people are out of town. So I don't know. Also, I had a shot of apple cider vinegar in here right before I had this cookie. If you guys follow the Glucose Goddess on Instagram, then you know to not spike your blood sugar too much. You can do certain things like pair sugars, like things that would spike your blood sugar with things that will make sure that you're not having such a quick spike. One of those things being taking a shot of apple cider vinegar before you eat something very sweet, but also you could just make sure that you're eating a full meal, like dinner, before you have sugar basically like on an empty stomach. Why did this make me feel like I was taking a shot of vodka? Not like the taste, and I know a lot of people don't like this taste, and I mean, it's not the best taste, but it doesn't taste like vodka. But it gave me that buzz that alcohol gives you. And I kind of knew about this, but I just didn't really think about it. But when I had it, I was like, maybe this is what I need to do if I'm gonna go out with my girls and I want a little pick me up, because sometimes I'll drink a little bit of coffee, but I don't know, sometimes like when you have a second cup of coffee later in the day, like it doesn't really do much. But this just hits you and goes down in a way that genuinely gives you that little buzz, and it's really good for you. So just a little pro tip. Also, I just played jazz music as I cooked, and it was the most therapeutic thing ever. I feel like that is all I need, is a little bit of jazz music and something where I can focus for a little bit. It really just helps rewire my brain. Like, that's what I'm all about, honestly, in this winter arc, is just rewiring my brain. I am not somebody who spends hours upon hours on TikTok scrolling like weekly, but there's definitely times where if I'm bored, like I will do it, and I just hate that feeling. And it doesn't mean that I'm anti-TikTok or anti-social media and like, you know, going on social media. I think it's fun. I think sometimes you just need to do it, but I get really sensitive when it comes to scrolling or like even watching TV sometimes. And so I'm just trying to find ways to, you know, not give myself a freaking headache by staring at a screen all day, but also just putting my attention somewhere else. Like, I don't want to feel like I have to pick up my phone every 3 seconds or like check things every 3 seconds or like consume content. I hate doing that. Like, when I'm on TikTok, I really like to watch funny things. I like to curate my algorithm so it's not like giving me just like a bunch of self-development or like advice, things like that. Like, I just feel like I don't want to listen to that on TikTok, even though like I'm basically that type of creator for other people. But regardless of what you're consuming online, especially short form, like when you're on your phone, not on like YouTube where you put it on your TV and you kind of do things, I just find that it gets me in this like spiral energy of too much overconsumption, too much information. I'm not retaining anything. That is why I like long form in general. Like, you guys know, obviously, because you guys watch long form, you have a longer attention span. Because even if you're sitting down and just watching a YouTube video or a podcast, you're focusing on something for like 20 plus minutes versus like scrolling through short form like every 3 seconds and not retaining anything. But usually what we do, because I know you guys, because I'm one of them, is we will do something as the video is playing. So we'll clean, we'll go on a walk, we will bake, we will do something. And that's kind of just what I'm trying to do more of with things like my phone, because, you know, there's still times that I'll go on my phone. I have like that short form, like smaller area of time, essentially. So anyways, the sun has already set. What time is it? 6:30, and it's already dark. That's when you know the winter arc is here. And the time has not changed yet. So realistically, by the time it is, I think like the day before my birthday, that's when daylight savings happen or something, it will technically be 5:30 and it will be this dark. But you know what? That's fine, because that just means we have more time in the night to do things. That's one thing I do like about the time change in a way, which is so brutal, especially living in Canada, is that you do basically, in a way, even though it's the same amount of time in a day, you technically just like are forced to spend more time doing things at night, like night routine stuff, which can be nice. Like, it feels like you have more time to cook a meal because it's later for longer. You can romanticize your cozy night routine. Obviously, this is dependent on work, but you know what I mean. Anyways, it's Friday. So I am gonna wash my face, and then I'm gonna do my red light therapy, and then I'm going to watch The Challenge on MTV because I'm obsessed with that show right now. I mean, I've always been obsessed with that show, but recently I've been watching it, and I'm just gonna color, and that's gonna be my night. I used to use this Current Body red light therapy mask a lot at the beginning of this year. This is not sponsored, but I have worked with them before. I wonder if my code still works. I will check to see if it works, and if it does, then I'll link it if you guys were ever interested in it. Current Body is like top of the line LED masks. And this mask though, I'm not gonna turn it, actually wait, I can turn it on. No, I'm not going to because it's timed, but It has blue and red light therapy for your face, and the blue light is great for acne, to get like really deep into your follicles, your hair follicles in your face, which is sometimes why acne can occur. I mean, there's a million reasons why acne can occur. With that said, there's actually a medication that I've just been put on. I've been on it before to reduce inflammation in my body, and sometimes the side effects is the overproduction of the hair follicle in your skin. So that can sometimes cause acne. So I'm literally like, okay, it is definitely time. I should have been already doing this, honestly. I kind of fell off of doing it in the summertime just because like life got so busy, and then natural sun, like I don't really care too much about skincare, I feel like, in the summer sometimes, but now I have every more reason. So I just put this on for 10 minutes and I will look crazy doing it. So that's gonna be my night, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Saturday morning. I had the best sleep. I literally went to sleep at like 10:08 last night. Just naturally was like ready to go, knocked out. I mean, I woke up a few times throughout the night, which is fine, but I ended up sleeping until 8, which that's a perfect time for me. I'm feeling very refreshed, and I am now getting ready. Well, I'm not really getting ready. Like, I didn't get ready. I put a freaking new hoodie on. I undid my twist for my hair. I'm not doing anything with my hair because I don't want to walk outside with it wet because it's cold out, but I'm gonna go to the market now. I figured I would just do that instead of my morning walk, because usually after I eat I like to go for a walk by the water, but I figured since I was gonna go to the market anyways, I might as well go now before it gets like really busy, and that will like double as my walk. And then obviously I can go on a walk later if I want as well. But definitely one thing, I kind of already mentioned this for my winter arc, is eating before caffeine and pushing it to later, which I feel so good. Like I just don't even feel like I need caffeine. And it's so nice to think about my yummy, beautiful coffee that I get to have later in the day if I even want it. Versus like sometimes when you start getting on an early morning caffeine schedule, you end up drinking your coffee so early that it's just like not even enjoyable, and then you still have the entire day and you kind of like want a second one. So I always feel like having it later in the day is just the best. I ended up having some butternut squash soup that I actually had from Farm Boy the other day. So I just warmed that up and put a few pieces of chicken in it, and I basically am out of food now, which is perfect because my plan is to make butternut squash soup today. So that's basically what I'm gonna go to the market for. I also want to find some salmon. I need to get some spices. I'm just gonna kind of walk around and see. And I'm really trying to treat my every day, honestly, as like, let's not rush. Like, let's not move into the day with this rushing energy of this like needing to get it done, needing to get it done at this time and that time and this, that. Obviously, there's gonna be times where you need to get things done at certain times. Especially during the week I do that, but I think some of you guys can probably agree or probably relate to the fact that you're always this like type A person. I am a super type A person. And I'm just trying to, when I know I have a bunch of things that I want to do in a day, not like go into this type A personality trait and be like, okay, like I have this like schedule in my head and I have to get there at this time, and if I don't, like I'm I don't know, not getting there quick enough and then rushing things and then feeling overwhelmed because I have things to do in the day. And then, you know, it's just like, let's not even go there. So that's what I try, at least during the weekends too, like in the mornings and stuff, to just enjoy it. So anyways, we're gonna go. I'm just wearing my Abercrombie camo hoodie. I don't have a link for it, but it might still be on the site. I don't know though, because I feel like a lot of people on TikTok were talking about this sweater. And I'm just wearing my leggings again. And I'm just gonna wear my little jacket. I have my tote bag. That's kind of like a bigger grocery bag vibe. And we're gonna go see what we can get. Enjoy the beautiful Saturday. And then I will show you guys what I get. And we are back. So quick little market haul. I got some organic coconut milk because this is gonna be what I need to use for my butternut squash soup. Got some organic carrots, just a nice bag. Honestly, this stuff was really affordable considering it was also organic at a farmer's market than it would have been at a traditional grocery store. So honestly, sometimes you just have to look and see with prices. Now, it's funny because there's so many different vendors at the St. Lawrence market or just like at a farmer's market in general, but I looked around for prices and like I was looking at what places were selling the butternut squashes and I found these ones that were the same or either less, probably like around the same amount of money as the other places, but these ones were organic, like everything was organic. And I'm not super like stickler on organic, but I feel like if I'm gonna go to a farmer's market, I would like my food to be organic if possible, but like not every place at a market is going to be organic. And I know obviously it still could be local versus like going to your big box grocery, so it still might be worth getting non-organic. Like I get non-organic stuff all the time, but it's just sometimes just to look at the prices because I ended up just getting it for the same price, you know? So anyways, I got 2 butternut squashes. I don't know if I'm gonna use them both, but they were really small and I looked at the recipe of the girl who was making the soup and hers looked really big, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I got a tomato because this is what she had baked in it, a shallot. These potatoes are actually for my salmon dish that I'm gonna make with sweet potato, which I'll probably maybe make that tomorrow. And then I got some sage and rosemary for the soup as well. I also got my wild caught sockeye salmon, which I will show you once I actually make it and talk to you about that. Now there was a few other things that I wanted to get, like spices, but I was looking at the prices there and it just makes more sense for me to go to the regular grocery store because I collect points at one of my grocery stores and I know that they had the same exact like organic like spice brand as they did at this market. So I'm like, why am I gonna get it there when I can just get it at the grocery store and then get points on it? So that's kind of how I like work with my money. I'm not like too much of a stickler when it comes to like, oh my God, like points, or I'm gonna walk this far just to get this one product because it's like $1 cheaper. But I am pretty strategic when it comes to like my money and points and stuff. Like I have different points cards for different things. Same with like investments and stuff like that. And I just try and make the most out of my money and just like, I don't know, be a little bit more smart with money instead of just like spending money all the time on everything and not really like thinking about how could I maybe potentially get this for cheaper. So I'm gonna get the rest of the stuff later. Right now I'm going to put this away and I'm gonna make my coffee and then I'm gonna do a little bit of journaling and thinking about what I'm gonna be talking about for my podcast, and then I'm gonna record my podcast. So I'm just gonna get ready a little bit for today and record the pod, and then I'll probably cook the soup later. So I will catch up with you guys after I do the podcast. It's been a while since I've recorded. If you guys don't know, I do have a podcast, a Glow Up Secrets podcast, and it's on my second channel, which will be linked down below, but also you can listen to it on Spotify and Apple. Okay, also one of my winter arc focuses is hydration, because I just need to hydrate more, and I've done a really good job at drinking more water, honestly. Ever since getting an actual like big water bottle, this is from Bottle. I think I have a discount code, I can leave it down below, but this really does help me get in my water intake. But I really am trying to get more electrolytes into my body because essentially you need to replenish your minerals every day. And you don't need to have it obviously from an electrolyte powder, but it is helpful, especially for me with digestion issues. If you're not absorbing nutrients the best possible way, sometimes it is good to have supplements. So anyways, that's just something that I'm trying to do. So throughout the day, I think this also just like stacks as trying to get more water in, because sometimes you can forget to drink water. Like for me, I'm like not a water drinker. I could go all day with like drinking no water. So lately I've just been having some of these Peak Life electrolytes. This is a really good brand and not sweet at all. I have Liquid IV, but I know a lot of people don't really like Liquid IV because it's really sweet. So if you don't like it, I definitely would try this brand. And I just put some L-glutamine into this as well, since I might as well. And this is great for helping with soothing your gut lining. So that's why I'm taking this, and I'm gonna drink this as I am getting ready to film my podcast. And then that way I just know that I've had at least like another glass of water. Like of course I'm drinking this throughout the day, but I know that I'll have this, and I've had some electrolytes and just like made my water a little bit better. And we're back for round 2. So I just got some new spices. I actually didn't have a lot of these spices, so I figured I would just pick them up, like I said, at the grocery store. So I got ginger, nutmeg, garlic, and turmeric. I feel like I can always use these for a lot of different recipes. I got some vegetable broth for the soup as well. I picked up another one of Bragg's apple cider vinegar things, since I was basically already done mine. I like to add this, like honestly, whenever I'm feeling like a meal needs a little bit of like tanginess or something. I don't usually have too many lemons on hand, so I'll just like add a little bit of this into like a rice bowl or something, and it just makes everything really good. And like I said, sometimes I'll have it before I have something really sweet for the blood sugar thing. And this was way cheaper at Loblaws, so always look at the prices. I got a baking soda and a baking powder because the ones I actually were using last night are really old, honestly. And as you probably saw, they're like from these bulk barn bags, and it's really annoying and frustrating to like take them out, and they're just old. So I picked up these Bob Bread Mills. I really do like this brand, even for flour. I got these essentially white beans, kidney beans, for the soup as well. I picked up some coffee. This was just one that I've had before and it was on sale. So I'm gonna make the roasted butternut squash soup. You guys will see me make it, and I'll show you how it turns out. Okay, soup is done and it tastes so good. I'm so proud of myself for making this soup. I actually got this handheld blender. The top of it is in the sink right now, but I will link this down below because I like the idea of doing it handheld, like in the pot versus like putting it in a blender. My blender's like not the best. Well, actually it's not bad. It's just like old, and it comes with like different handheld things. You can put like a whisk on top of this and use it kind of like one of those like baking mixer bowls instead of getting that whole entire set. So I actually really like this. So you'll probably see me use this more. But anyways, I'm gonna link the little TikTok that I followed. I just literally found this TikTok recipe. It was super simple, where I basically just roasted all of the vegetables and things that I put on the pan and roasted it for like 45 minutes, put it in here, and then I added the white beans, and I also added coconut milk, and that's literally it. And just like made sure that it was nice and warm and mixed it all together. So this is gonna be a nice, yummy, beautiful soup that I can have throughout the next few days. I am now gonna go back into my hyperfixation and finish, well, maybe not finish this whole thing, but this is how much I've gotten done so far. So right now I'm doing the yellow. So I'm gonna go in and fill this all in. And I was just listening to jazz music. I feel like that's just the most calming when it comes to cooking. Don't mind this chair, I'm selling it, and that's why it's there right now. And I need to hang up my jacket. But now I'm gonna put on the challenge once again and just do this. But coloring while I'm watching a show just makes me so much more relaxed and less stimulated. So that's probably why my body is craving to do it, because it is so therapeutic. But that's gonna be it for tonight. And then tomorrow I wanna cook salmon, and I did my podcast episode, so I'll probably just edit. I hit my, where is it? My 10,000 step goal, essentially. I got 11K, which we are looking pretty nice on the numbers here. But just like a little PSA, if you don't have your weekends to yourself because you're working, or maybe you only have like one day off a week, things like that, try your best to at least like even give yourself like one of these days a month where you just do nothing but whatever you want to do, right? Like just really taking your weekend slow or your afternoon slow. I think about when I used to work 2 full-time jobs and then I was still doing my social media. I never had weekends. Like that was not a thing. Even when I worked a traditional 9 to 5 after I ended up graduating from college and like getting a traditional 9 to 5, I served and bartended every day, like literally every day that I could. I had a little bit of different hours, so they weren't always 9 to 5 until we went work from home because of COVID. But before that, the hours were a little bit different, but essentially like I would have to go in corporate, and all the nights that I had off, I had to work, I had to bartend. And on the weekends, I bartended and served the entire time because of course, like that's the time that I have to be able to work more, and it's usually better money, and also at nights. So having like weekends off to do this, that was not always my norm. And I guess I'm also just saying that maybe because like I was thinking when I was cooking, like it's just so nice that I get to like do this and this, that, and I feel for people who can't right now. And maybe this can just be kind of maybe your motivation or like a reminder that like you can have this life, and you will have this life eventually. And maybe it will look different for you than it is for me, of course, because my job allows me to do certain things. But you know, wherever you're at in your life right now, if it's not the best, if you feel like you don't have a lot of time to like, you know, put into self-care and cook a bunch of meals and this, that, do what you can for one. Just do what you can. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing, but also remind yourself like one day you will have this. And I had to tell myself that a lot in my early 20s. Like, you know what, Alicia, you have to work, you have to grind, you have to get up super early. Like I even remember when I was 16 years old and my first ever like real job was at Tim Hortons. Well, there was a few other jobs that I had, like babysitting and that kind of stuff, like, but my traditional like full-time job was Tim Hortons, and I had to do a lot of 6 to 2 shifts. So I'd have to wake up at like 5 a.m. and like go in and just, you know, give up my weekends every single time. And then of course, like throughout the times that I was in college and stuff, to working. And I just like, I was so jealous of people who didn't have to work on the weekends, or like the people who maybe had 9 to 5s that were like older than me. And I was like, oh my God, like I would just die to have a 9 to 5 so that I can have the weekends off and this, that. And then when I got 9 to 5, I still didn't have weekends off because I had to work. And I just like, I dreamed of just having more time freedom. And so just know that that can definitely be possible. I also was thinking even last night, I'm like, listen, this is not always going to be my life. Like me sitting in my bed last night when I was watching the challenge and coloring, I'm like, you better take this in, because when you have kids, you think you're going to be able to just sit around, just be coloring here and doing your little soups and the challenge and this, that, like, girl, take it in while you can. So wherever you are in your life, just understand it's a phase, it's a chapter, things can change. You can get the life that you want. You can get more time freedom, this, that. Also, I always like remind myself, like I still work, even when I have a lot of time freedom. So I feel like when I was younger, I used to always think, oh my God, I just want my weekends off. Like my life would change my life if I just had weekends off to do whatever I wanted. But I still find myself doing things for work and stuff like that. So I feel like you don't necessarily like need so much time than maybe like you think. I mean, I think when you're overworked, then obviously you're gonna just like wish and hope and pray to never have to work again. But that tends to not even really be how it works when you actually get a little bit more time freedom. But my best advice is to do what you can with what you have. I did the best that I could when I didn't have a lot of time when it came to my morning routines, my night routines, self-care on the weekends as much as I could. Like it wasn't the way that it was now, but I still tried to do my best, and like your best just has to be good enough until you can free up some more time and space, and you just have so much more life to live whatever age you're at, that like it's okay, like slow it down, okay? Like you will have that life if you want. You will have your dreams, you will accomplish all your goals, you will whatever it is that you want. So just try and do your best to be grateful and to be in the present moment, and just like really take in the moment, which I know can be so hard when you just have a lot of like things that you don't want happening in your life. But I still stayed very grateful and really optimistic through challenging times in my life and times where I just had to hustle. And I'm glad that I did, because I can really like sit down in these moments and think, yeah, like I deserve this, I earned this, I worked towards this. Not saying I had to do all that labor and I had to like have such a hard life in order to get this, but I think you guys know what I mean. Anyways, I am gonna go do this, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, we are done eating. As you could see, I made some salmon and I made some potatoes. So what I did was, well, first, the salmon. I just posted this on my Instagram account, but there is a very big nutritional difference and so many differences when it comes to getting farmed salmon versus wild caught salmon. Now, I like to get sockeye salmon, which is very rich in color and wild caught and just has a lot more nutritional benefits. But when you get farmed salmon, when you get salmon from the grocery store, usually like the typical pieces of salmon, and it's not to deter somebody if that's all you can get. Like truly, like sometimes you just have to get what you can get. But even for me, I remember like when I was saving money, grocery shopping and stuff, like I just like wouldn't definitely not spend money on getting farmed salmon, because when you get farmed salmon, it literally actually comes like not even pink at all, and they add dye to it to make it more pink. But you can still tell the difference between like a pink salmon and like a vibrant like red sockeye wild caught salmon. So I stay away from that usually, and I don't even typically eat a lot of salmon because it can be expensive if you're getting like wild caught sockeye, this, that. But when I do, that's the type of salmon that I get. And then as you saw, I just put on some like seasoning and baked it in the oven. And then I ate a piece right now, and then I'll have some for the week. And then I boiled my potatoes, like chopped them up, and then I put them in the oven and baked them. And then I put them actually in a bag, and I'm gonna freeze them and then pull them out whenever I want. So that'll just be like alongside my salmon, alongside whatever other protein that I make throughout the week. So I feel pretty good with the meals that I made in terms of like meal prepping a little bit. Like I have a lot of soup, I have the salmon, I have potatoes. Of course, I'm gonna be making more stuff like throughout the week, but one of my goals, of course, is to just make more food and prep more things for myself, because I have the time and I actually really wanna do it, and I wanna get better. Even with cooking, I feel like I'm a pretty good cook, considering I've cooked a lot of things throughout the years, and I've lived on my own for so many years that I've kind of had to learn. But it would be nice to even perfect some of the things that I make. Like the salmon, I would like to make it sometimes like seared, but I didn't do it this time. So anyways, that's what I did, and I cleaned up a little bit. It is like 12:30. By the way, I had the freaking best sleep once again. I was like looking at my sleep score, and I only woke up twice, which was nice. So I had a longer period of deeper sleep. So I woke up around, what time was it? 5:58. And I just know when I've had enough sleep or when I haven't. Like no matter what, I'm still like tired kind of when I wake up. But you know when you wake up and you just look outside and you're like, is it like too dark or is it like too early? But like you're kind of awake. I really try and just get up at those times, and it was 4:58, which is crazy. But I did go to sleep around like 9:30 last night. As soon as I woke up, I had a shower. I had like a nice like hot little lemon water, and I ended up editing my entire podcast episode, and I got it out and like published and everything before 9 a.m. this morning. And then I went on a nice little walk, and then I cleaned, and now I'm basically here, and it is only 12:40. So the perks of waking up early is just, oh, so good. And it's just something that I really want to continue to do as much as I can. Not every single day is going to be perfect, but I mean, it feels so good to be rested. It feels so good to wake up naturally. You're telling me I naturally woke up at 5 a.m. naturally. And I'm able to get a bunch of things done, and I'm like motivated to do that. And then I still have the entire day to kind of like do whatever I want. But it definitely first comes with the habit of like removing things that affect your sleep, and like getting in a habit of doing things before bed that won't stimulate you so you can go to sleep. And I really think that like me coloring as I was watching the challenge, reading, things like that, really prime my body to just wanna sleep so early and just wanna just fall asleep without any sort of like melatonin, any sort of sleep thing, nothing. And another thing that I really like to do as much as I can, especially when the sun is out, is when the sun is beaming and it's out in the morning, I really try and go outside and like stare at the sun. Not like directly in the sun, but you know what I mean. Just get a lot of sun to set my circadian rhythm in place so that at night, yeah, I am gonna be more tired. But with that said, I know this video is really long already. I wanna go to the dollar store to grab like a few other things for baking, like nothing that I need today, but I do want to do that. And I want to get a probiotic as well because I'm going to be running out, and I want to get a higher strand because there's this medication that I am on, and I want to make sure that I'm protecting my like natural gut health. Although it's not an antibiotic, so I don't necessarily like, I'm not too afraid of it, but it's just like, you know, just supporting myself. But I hope this video was motivating for you guys. Let me know what you want to see next. Like, I definitely will just keep vlogging more. I think that these videos for me are motivating to watch, like in the morning sometimes. Well, lately I've been honestly just like listening to jazz music in the morning and just clearing my mind. But there are times like when I'm drinking my coffee, like I drank my coffee at like 10:30 today, and I just watched a vlog. I like watching vlogs because it just like reminds me that there's other people who are showing up for themselves and taking care of themselves on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And I think that that's like, we all kind of need that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I am probably, actually, somebody had asked me to hang out for a bit today, so I might do that. Like I might just go chill and just have a nice like Sunday day, since I literally got everything I need to get done. And then later tonight, the way that I'm gonna finish that freaking coloring thing, I'm not done it yet, but I'm gonna get it done. It is like my Roman Empire. Like honestly, I like it better than painting and or puzzles. So if you don't have the attention span to sit down and do a puzzle as like your little thing to do like at night, or like when you're spending time alone, and or painting, sometimes it's like a whole mess and you gotta get everything out, try just getting like one of those coloring books that I have, because I feel like it's just a very like entry level thing to get yourself to do something that's not like you scrolling on your phone. And God, does it make a difference when you're not scrolling on your phone, just like mentally, but also when it comes to sleep and things like that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.